Welcome back to the channel. Have you ever tried vibe coding tools and not been happy with the results? Endless errors eating up all your credits? Well, today we're going to show you a tool that changes all of that. You can build full stack apps from prompts. It includes the front end, the back end, authentication, databases, and so much more. And it all within one tool. You don't need any integrations or plugins or anything to get this up and running. Today in this video, we're going to walk through building an entire app from scratch and show you how the agent takes care of each step until you get your app published, and you can even convert it to a mobile app for iOS or Android. We're going to walk you through each step. This tutorial is beginner friendly. Hope you enjoyed the video, so let's dive in and show you how this all works. Okay, so we're at emergent.sh, and what we're going to build today is a task manager that's sort of geared towards businesses or freelancers. And here's our prompt. Our business goal is a simple but effective task manager that helps individuals and small teams stay organized, prioritize work, and track projects. One of the things I like to do is talk about the core features in my prompt. So we want to be able to create, edit, and delete tasks, organize tasks into projects or categories, add tags or labels for flexible filtering, and a simple process tracking completed versus pending. A couple more things here, but I also want to talk about our target users, the freelancers, small business owners, and productivity-minded individuals. Ultimately, we'd want people to pay for this app, so we want to sort of angle it towards freelancers or small business owners. And then I also have my success criteria, so users can easily create and manage tasks without confusion, clear visualization of what's due today, this week, smooth performance on both desktop and mobile, and positive user feedback. I will link to this prompt in the show notes, so if you want to take this prompt, you can. Also, if you don't have an idea for an app and you just want to try out an Emergent, they have different ideas that you can sort of use here as starters. You can even hit surprise me, which is a lot of fun. You can regenerate these and get all kinds of different tasks. You can also upload here up to 5 images. So if you have a page that you like for inspiration or design styles, you could simply upload that here. So then once you got your prompt ready, we're just going to go ahead and hit this submit button. And what's going to happen here is the agent is going to start to work on building out this app. This agent is fully autonomous. Not only will it build the app, but what I really like about Emergent is it's going to test each step of the app as it's building it to make sure that everything's functional. It's also going to ask us for feedback as it builds and ask clarifying questions so that it doesn't make assumptions. And a lot of other agentic builders do not ask these clarifying questions. They make a lot of assumptions, and then you end up with something far away from what you initially intended on building. So I really, really like that about Emergent. And we're probably going to get that prompt here. Usually after the initial prompt to build the app, it immediately comes back and asks some clarifying questions before it goes off and does the initial build. So let's go ahead and see if it does that here. Looks like it's about to come up. Okay, so here we go. Before I start building this task manager, I'd like to clarify a few details to ensure that I build exactly what you need. This is perfect. I really like how they asked me this. Task priority levels. What priority system would you prefer? Simple, low, medium, high, or numbered 1 to 5, color-coded, etc. So let's go ahead and answer these one by one. We'll say simple is fine. 2 is project category organization. How should we organize? Simple categories like work, personal, for project descriptions and deadlines, or both. We'll just say simple categories. Again, we're trying to build something here for a demo, so we're going to keep it pretty simple. Due date views, which views are most important? Today, this week, all tasks, this week, this month, overdue, or a calendar view. Let's just say A. And then 4, user authentication. For the initial version, the single user no longer required. Simple login with username and password not needed for now. We'll just say A, single user. Emergent can handle authentication and payments, have a fully built-in database and all of that, but we want to show you the power of Emergent in this video, so we're just going to go ahead and have it build us an MVP, if you will. Then we can always add users authentication, a database after the fact. And while this is building, I want to talk about a couple other features I really like. This initial build can take like 3 to 5 minutes. So we'll talk about some of these extra features, and then we'll pause the video and let it build out our initial version of our app. Again, you can upload images for reference, design systems, screenshots of landing pages you'd like, different component views, anything like that. You can upload screenshots and the agent will understand the image, and it will use that image to help guide the agent. Saving to GitHub. So this is really, really nice. You can sync all of the code that the agent writes for your application to GitHub. So if you wanted to make fine-tune edits in Cursor or Windsurf or some other code editor IDE, you can absolutely do so. You're not locked into the Emergent platform or ecosystem. However, I found Emergent to be very good, so I'm not bringing my projects outside of Emergent. However, it's really nice to sync it if you're working with an outside developer or something like that. Another really nice feature is you can fork your project from any given point. So if you're building like a reusable template or something like that, and then you want to add custom features for each client, you can certainly do that, like a base template for a to-do tracker, and then you could fork it for different use cases or different industries. Really, really love the fork feature. They also have this ultra thinking mode if you'd like to use that. So again, some really, really nice features. Also here, you can expand down any of these task messages and really see the detailed messages of what the agent is thinking. And the agent's thinking right now, but you can roll back in the chat. So if your agent makes a mistake or you make a mistake or you just want to roll back to a previous version, you can just hit the rollback at any time and your whole entire application will be rolled back. So sort of like Git version control built right into the agent. You could also, if you're syncing it to GitHub, you could roll back on GitHub as well. So let's go ahead and let this build. We'll come back once the initial version of the app is done and we'll see what we're looking at. So this is still finishing up. As you can see, we have a preview in the right side. Looks beautiful, it looks modern, it's clean. We're not going to test it yet, but what I want to show you here is that the agent is actually testing tasks on the back end to check functionality. So it's actually creating a dummy task to see if the app works, how it handles everything, see if there's any errors. And if there are, the agent will automatically identify and handle those errors. If you use any other agentic builders, this is not always the case. A lot of times it'll spin something up, you'll go to test it, it won't work, and then you have to use more credits to try to fix it. That's not the case here, and I really love that. It saves on your credits, and it's just a much more streamlined experience for the agent to test everything as it builds it. So it's almost done here. You can see the forms fill correctly, but there's a model click issue. So let's pick the category selection and try a different approach. Again, I love how autonomous this is, especially in the initial version. You don't want to be, trying to test everything, have it be broken. You just want it to work, and then you can iterate off the working version. So I really, really like how efficient this is and how it handles everything for you. One other thing to mention is these tabs across the top are different projects. So what we could do is we could actually open up a new tab and start a completely new project while this one is working. And the agent will work on two projects simultaneously, which is super, super cool. I've used it and it does not affect for performance, and you're able to build multiple projects at the same time. You can even have it work on the same exact prompt, and you might get slightly different results, but it's a good way to sort of like A/B test, what results you get with the builder. So let's see what's happening here. It's still testing the backend functionality. And then once this is done too, I'll show you how you can sort of like connect it to GitHub and show you how easy that is, as well as some other features. Okay, let's go ahead and let this finish up, and then we'll go ahead and test out our task manager app that this is building. Okay, so this finished up just after about 3 minutes. So super, super fast. We got this message from the agent. The initial backend testing indicates strong performance, 12 out of tests passing successfully. That's awesome. And then it actually can test the automated browser testing from the front end, which is super cool. We can also manually test. Let's just go ahead and manually test and see how this works. What we'll do is we'll go ahead and click create task. We can just say test, and it will say test task. All right, we can make the priority high. We can make this a work item, and we could choose a due date. And we click this, there's a really nice date picker. We'll make it due next week. Let's go ahead and create the task. Okay, so I created it. I don't see it here. Let me go ahead and refresh. Okay, so I had the refresh and it's showing. We can edit it. That looks great. We can choose the category. We can update it. There we go. If we click it, it looks like it's completed. If we choose a different category, it's showing in the correct category. So this is all working really well. Let's go ahead and uncomplete the task. Let's change the category to health, for instance. We can update the task. If we go to health, it's showing here. Let's also check the views so we can see what's due today. No task due today. This week, yes, it's showing because it is due within a week from today's date. Okay, so this is really, really cool. Now let's just say we want to be able to click on the badges to change the priority or the category and see if the agent can handle that. We want to be able to click on the badges to change the priority. Change the priority or due date. Can we do that? Okay, so you can just talk to this in very natural language as I just did right there. And the agent should understand what we're asking for and be able to make these changes to the app. So right now we cannot click these badges. We cannot click the priority or the due date at all in the front end. So hopefully when this comes back after making these edits, we will be able to click these And the point of doing this is just to show you how easy it is to iterate and add features to the app. If you wanted to add like a dark mode or any visual UI changes, you could do that as well in here. Another thing I want to note is you can prompt this agent to help you build this into a mobile app that can be submitted to the Apple and Google Play stores. So you can do that as well here in this agentic editor. Also, another really nice feature is you can actually open the app in a new tab. So if you want to see it on its own web page without the chat preview and sort of like the full screen experience, you can do that here, which is really, really nice. You sort of just get the full picture of how everything looks. There's really nice pop-up modal when you create a new task. But let's go back here, see if it can make these changes and see what we get and see if our changes are implemented here on one try. Looks like it's already starting to work because these are becoming clickable. So far, it's not working, but it's still working on processing these changes. So let's go ahead and give it another second. We'll come back and see if these changes worked. Okay, so we got a success message that implemented interactive features already. And now if we click a task like medium priority, it actually changes it. And now it's high priority. If we click it again, it'll go to low priority. So the UI has just instantly been updated as we prompted it. You can do this for any of your changes, and the agent is really, really good. A couple other little things here I want to show you, but super impressed that we were able to build this task manager app in just about 10 minutes. If you want to share this app with anyone, you can simply grab this link. Preview links expire in 30 minutes. If you want to get a permanent URL, you'd have to actually deploy your app, but you could definitely share this if you want to share it with a client for feedback. The link's good for 30 minutes. If they need another one, you can just regenerate the preview link. So overall, I'm really, really impressed with Emergent. I was able to build an app with very little errors, and the little errors that were there, they weren't even really errors, but the improvements that we made were super fast, and it thought through them and it made sure everything worked and was functional before it actually said that there was success, which I really, really like, because we all know too often how it feels to burn credits, trying to fix errors and just get stuck in this sort of like vicious loop. So I hope that you liked this video. Again, we were able to build a complete task manager app in just under 10 minutes. If you have any questions or comments, please drop them below. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any other videos like this one.